Coming up on this episode of Coordinated.
It probably takes less time for a student to join a class section than it just did for us to get this far in the podcast, Derek.
Greetings, AP coordinators, and welcome to Season 7 of Coordinated. Our goal for this season? To help AP coordinators successfully manage their AP programs from the start of school up through the AP exam final ordering deadline of November 15, 2022.
This season, we're releasing 2 sets of episodes, creating the opportunity to listen on demand to specific topics at different times, depending on when your school year begins.
Let's get started. I'm Derek Cometa.
And I'm Rachel McBride. Welcome to the podcast for AP coordinators.
Welcome to Coordinated.
Season 7, Episode 5, The Student Enrollment Process.
Hello, Rachel. Great to see you.
Hey, Derek. Great to see you as well.
So, before we get started today, I thought this might be a good moment for a status report. I'd like to make sure we have not missed any important steps in our conversations geared towards supporting AP coordinators.
Good idea. I like it. That's something a good teacher or a good coach would do. And speaking of coaching, I think teamwork may be a good theme for our conversation today.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. But first...
Yes, first, the status report. It all began when we used our individual access codes to get into AP registration and ordering.
Check.
We completed initial setup and the participation form. Both were guided steps in AP registration and ordering after we used the access code to get started for the new school year.
Check.
We then created class sections. I got the master schedule from my assistant principal for that. I also found that some of my teachers already created their class sections, which was wonderful.
Check and check.
And all of my new AP teachers completed their initial tasks in AP course audit, and the AP course audit administrator approved the necessary forms. Now, all of my new teachers are in my AP registration and ordering drop-down menu, which is perfect.
Big check.
So with the help of many, I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, great status report. And I can understand why you said teamwork was an important theme today. A lot of colleagues at school have already helped you get this far. And now we're ready for the next step.
Yes, the student enrollment process. Let's do it.
How about a quick definition first? What do we actually mean when we say, quote, the student enrollment process? Well, the goal of the student enrollment process is to get all students who are taking an AP course, to get all those students into their corresponding AP class sections. That's all students, even those students who may be certain they do not want to take the AP exam. All students enroll so they have access to instructional resources provided by their AP teachers in AP classroom.
Right, exactly. And it's important to say up front that students enroll themselves. This is not something the AP teacher or AP coordinator can do for the student. We can provide assistance and guidance. Ultimately, though, students enroll themselves. And the good news? We've already started the process. We've got our class sections created, and each of those class sections has a unique corresponding join code. And now we want students to sign into their College Board student account. Then, using that join code, students enroll in their class section. A majority of the time, it's a quick process for the student. It probably takes less time for a student to join a class section than it just did for us to get this far in the podcast, Derek.
All right. Well, that sounds good to me. So what is this student enrollment process? Can you share a little more about how this works at your school?
Sure. So first, let me say, I think the process works best when it's a team effort. Our theme for today, Derek. There are lots of opportunities to get colleagues involved to help make the process quick, efficient, and timely. You're probably not surprised to hear this, but at my school, I often choose to take on a majority of the work when it comes to AP. I just put my head down and do it. For instance, in years past, I've gone to each classroom to distribute join codes to students. That obviously took a lot of time. Now it's a little different. Now I have a more efficient process, and it involves my team of teachers. Now the AP teachers distribute the join codes to their students, not me. It just makes sense. The AP teachers see their students every day, and by now, most understand how the join codes and student enrollment process work. Of course, I still support and guide, like I mentioned earlier, but the teachers interact and follow up with the students directly.
That sounds like a great decision. I assume it's been going well.
So much better. And you'll be happy to know I borrowed a great idea that I heard on Coordinated last season. The idea? Create a friendly competition between teachers to see who can complete their student enrollment first. And yes, I go so far as to make daily graphs to show which teachers are in the lead. Emphasis on friendly, though, Derek. It's a friendly competition.
Of course. So at your school, when does the when does the student enrollment process begin?
Day one, Derek. Day one. The AP teachers at my school want their students in AP Classroom as soon as possible. They want to start using the AP Classroom resources right away. They love AP Classroom.
That sounds great. Any pro tips to share in addition to all that?
One big one. I work with my teachers to create a universal student enrollment deadline across all AP classes. We convey the message consistently, and I've found that helps. Same deadline for all teachers, all subjects, everyone's on the same page.
And when is that deadline?
Good question. Usually it's the end of the first full week of school. We want it done quickly. Of course, I often end up with a few students who I quote unquote track and chase. Fortunately, though, not too many. The AP teachers do a fantastic job and get almost all students enrolled right away.
I'm glad you mentioned that part about track and chase. Sometimes students have challenges accessing their student accounts, and that can slow down the process a little bit. Fortunately, there is a wonderful self-help FAQ webpage for students, and we'll put a link to that in the show notes. I've been told that it's a great resource to share with students, to share with parents, and even AP teachers.
It is. It's very helpful. And hey, Derek, it feels like we're ready for a wrap-up summary. Know anyone who might be interested?
I thought you'd never ask. Here we go. Summary time. Distribute join codes to students right away. Don't delay. Consider working with colleagues, specifically AP teachers, to help with the student enrollment process. Offer the self-help FAQ webpage to help resolve any student account challenges. Set a universal enrollment deadline for all AP courses and communicate this consistently to everyone. And last, but certainly not least, remember, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, and I wouldn't have it any other way. AP coordinators, now is the time to lead your team to victory. Derek, schools should get a trophy each year when we complete student enrollment. What do you think?
I think, wow, look at that. It's time to go, Rachel. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for listening, everyone. And be sure to join us next episode when we discuss the AP exam schedule. Lots to talk about there. We'll talk with you soon.
Coordinated is presented by the AP program and the AP Coordinator Experience. Special thanks to the amazing team behind the scenes who bring this show to schools and AP coordinators all across the world. We thank Jackie Ray for our theme song, Good as Gold. Jackie is a former AP Music Theory student at Oakton High School. Additional vocal support by myself, Carly Suge, AP Coordinator at Costa Mesa High School in Southern California.
And AP coordinators, we cannot say it enough. Thank you. We appreciate you, and for all your support of AP students, you are truly good as gold.
Just don't know. I'll say it over and over and over again till I believe it's so. I'm good as gold.